till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's hear you in the cup, singing our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth the point at home when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? We have the team that's tops here at St Andrews. They're gonna give us what we're longing for. It's Birmingham forever. Let's hear it from the stand. So go City, sing so much more.
Ladies and gents, boys and girls, it's 7:30. It's Monday night. Welcome to the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by Boyle Sports, principal sponsors of Birmingham City Football Club, and of course their friends at M&A Riley French Polishing and the Garrison Coffee Company. Wonderful cup of coffee that is, guys. You need to try it. You really do. Right, okay, plenty to talk about tonight as we go through the next hour and a half. I'll introduce you to the team tonight, all the way from down south, the one and only Mr. Alan Watton.
Good evening, everybody.
AKA the chairman, and I've just learnt that he introduced Bovril to the golf club down south. Did they make you club captain for that as well?
Pardon?
Did they make you club captain for doing that?
No, they threw me out.
All right, okay. The one only Mr. Mark Adams,
Hello,
AKA
everybody.
Mr. Robe.
Good evening.
And of course, as always, we've got Paul Hipkiss, Mr. Sheen.
Good evening, all.
And we've got myself and, of course, Mrs. Brown.
Good evening.
Absolutely delighted to be joined by Darren Carter. Darren Carter! Who are you? He's terrible, isn't he? He's only got one job. And you've managed to get a player with us tonight then, Darren. Introduce us.
Yeah, so got my skipper, Louise Quinn, the Irish maestro. So, yep, she's joining us tonight.
And we've already tried to teach her a Rummy accent tonight and get her to drink Bovril and eat bucket pies. So there we are. It's probably going to be one of those shows again, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to have a little bit of a laugh in the last 15 minutes tonight. Believe me, a little bit of a laugh. Right, okay. We have a new arrival. Okay. That new arrival is Madeline Violet, born yesterday to my daughter, Rebecca, and her partner, Anton. Well done, guys. Well done. Absolutely super proud of you.
Sorry.
And unfortunately, ladies and gents, I do have to say that Daddy is a Stoke fan and I can't and won't intervene. I can't and won't intervene. There's a lot of it around here, Chris. It's like a disease. You know what I mean?
Have a word, for God's sake.
It's the best thing you could be, Nick.
My Becca just doesn't like football at all, not in any manner or shape, not at all. She's been a couple of times down the Blues, so she's had the air inside her, so she does know what it's about. So. But no, well done to Becca and Anton. Madeline Violet, what lovely names, marvellous. Really pleased for them. And she's back home now and everything's going well. But unfortunately, Becca went and tested positive for COVID. Great, eh? Great. Yeah, I know. She's all right. She's got a bit of a cold on her, but she's all right. She's not as bad as Shazza was. My God, she looked like death cooled down, believe me. Crikey, thought I was digging her an hole a week or two ago, believe me. Right, Louise, tell us what you do and all about you, Bab.
Yes, I am very, very proud to be Blues captain this season. I'm a 31-year-old central defender, Irish international. And this is it. Football is the life, and happy to be at Blues now this year. And we're in a bit of a battle, but Irish girl loves a battle, loves the fight, and going to keep us up.
Go girl, love it, love the spirit, love the attitude, mate. Absolutely brilliant. And from like your point of view, right? How many caps did you first get for Ireland?
I have 91.
Still. What?
Yeah.
You've only got one head.
Large surface area.
91 caps. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Are you going to go for the other 9?
Absolutely, yeah. We have
Well
a camp now in February, so hopefully there's another couple in there, and yeah, there's no sign of me stopping yet. There's been talk of it, but there's no from other people, but not from me.
91. I was expecting you to say about 9 or 10, something like that. 91. Wow, that is absolutely incredible. What an international career. I'm gobsmacked, honestly, Bab. I really am proper. Well done. Okay, so we're going to go and talk about the Derby game now. Boom. We started off a little bit ropey, I thought, for the first 10 minutes, and then we got hold of that game, and we just ripped into Derby. Then all of a sudden, just a mad 5 minutes and it's all over. You know, kind of what we did to Peterborough last week. But once they made their 2 substitutes, my Luke came up from Paul. He rang me out of the blue. He said, "Dad," he said, "where are you watching the game today?" I said, "At home, mate." He says, "Oh, come up." Oh, wow, brilliant. So we just sat here. He had to drive back down to Paul. So it was soft drinks only. And we watched the game together, which was really nice. It was great seeing him for since my birthday party. I've not mentioned that. My birthday party.
At least for an hour.
Paul, your take on the Derby game, bud?
I thought we were really good first half. I thought that the new signings, Bacuna and Taylor and Hernandez as well, they all linked up really well, and as well with Hogan as well. And, the signs in the first half were obviously great. And then we get the second goal. I thought the second goal of Hogan's was probably the harder chance, at the 3 that he had. But, he definitely should have had at least another one, and he'll know it himself. But, I just think in the end we were punished for not taking enough chances. And
absolutely. And they were there, weren't they? Them chances were there.
And that's the good thing. No, that's the positive, is that we created so many. It was like night and day compared to the Peterborough game.
And we were playing like a team again.
Yeah, and what I was hoping for before the game started was that we'd come out the dressing room and get at them from the first whistle, and I thought we did that. Like you say, once we got hold of the game, we did, and we look a completely different animal now with these new players in the team. And let's hope that we've got Richards to come in as well, and he needs to come back. Let's hope we can have a good second half to the season. I'm
totally impressed with Taylor. Totally impressed. I think he's got a good attitude on his head as well. You know what I mean? Proper.
We took it all superbly well, and obviously Hernandez did really well. But I've got to give Ryan Woods a shout out as well, because some of his passing was out of this world. The through ball for the first, and the assist for the second goal was some fantastic passing. But also once we lost him, once we had to take him off, because he did look like he was going to get a second yellow.
He did half, didn't he?
So once we took him off, we kind of lost control of the game in midfield, didn't we, a little bit? And we were kind of chasing it a bit. But I've got to say that I didn't get him bringing Friend on for Taylor. If he was going to take Taylor off, I'd have put on, another striker. I wouldn't have gone with the 3 at the back, the 3 centre halves. But he did it, and in my opinion, it invited them onto us a bit more. And then obviously, inevitably, they get the couple of goals that they did. But I think for me, the second goal of theirs was offside and a foul on Mengi.
Oh, without a doubt. And a high boot.
But you can flip that, though, and say that they should have had a penalty. But who knows, in hindsight, they might have missed the penalty and we might have still won 2-1. Who knows? But, with VAR, I think that's what would have happened. But we would have lost Mengi as well. He would have had a red for that, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So, beautiful game, mate. It's a beautiful game.
I think it was almost like the Blues of old. It's like going back 11, 12 years. It was just that every tackle was, sort of the other lads were geeing everyone up, and it was just a world away from what we've seen in recent weeks.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, Bacuna's just what we need, isn't he? That forward thinking.
Absolutely. I like to say, going back to the subs, I went yesterday, and it's almost like a collective groan, if you like. It's like, why are we doing this with 22 minutes to go? Shouldn't we wait till about 80 minutes? Not now. Because every free kick they were getting closer and closer, and you could just see it coming.
Their two subs made a real impact, though, didn't they? That one guy, is it Reynolds? He looked mighty. He looked like a beast.
Yeah.
In fairness to Bielik, he took it well, even though he did kick Mengi in the head. He did take it well.
He did, yeah.
But yeah.
A second that free kick was given. We should have had a free kick because he pushed him on the byline, right? So that should have been a free kick to Blues. That would have been game over. But having said that, it wasn't, and we've got to carry on. You've got to play to the whistle. Did we take our eye off the ball? No, I don't really think so. I just think it was just one of them strikes that Could have gone anywhere.
It's just what Lee Bowyer said was spot on. He said we didn't seem hungry enough to sort of dive in and clear it, and it was true. We should have really attacked that ball to get rid of it, but we didn't. We've done that a lot.
And in the end, it still seems like a defeat.
Yeah, but I took a 2-2 before the game started, though. If you'd have offered me that, but
of course.
But when you're winning 2-1, we're so close to the final whistle, it feels like a defeat, doesn't it? When you can see the equaliser.
Well, having said that, a few years ago we did it to them at their place, didn't we?
Yeah. Clayton Donaldson, I remember. Yeah.
I wouldn't have known who it was. I ain't got a clue, mate. You know me.
Nick, I think you're making a clicking noise, or somebody is.
No, not me. There's no clicking going on here.
Definitely. Stop. It's stopped now.
No.
Carry on.
The thing that disappointed me was the fact we could have put an end to this Wayne Rooney Sky Sports love fest that was going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
You're thinking, you're getting stuffed here, mate. You know, start talking about the team in blue. It was, how are Derby going to do this? Well, after an hour, I might as well have gone home.
Yeah, we absolutely played them off the park.
Talk about it again then.
Yeah, too right. Say
though, and like a broken record, but I'd go and fetch BT back tomorrow from Wigan to work with our attacking players to get us scoring goals like we did when he was here under Gary Monk. You know, because he's a good striker coach, isn't he? And that's what we need. I think we just need to be a bit more clinical when the chances come.
That's a good point, Paul. Because I think Troy Deeney would have licked his lips at some of them chances.
Yeah,
and he's probably watching licking his lips.
How long before Troy's back? Does anybody know?
Couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, 2
couple
weeks.
of weeks. Okay.
2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's been made club captain now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
What do we think about that?
I think it's good.
I think it's good, but I always like to see a defender as a captain. Darren, what do you think?
I think, to be fair, I always like defenders just because they can see the whole game.
Everything, yeah.
And they can sort of conduct from the back. So, but Troy, I think Troy's the obvious choice, isn't he? I think he's a leader off the pitch anyway, and he'll voice his opinions. He's not afraid to let people know what he's thinking. He'll drag people along with him as well. So hopefully, like you say, he'll drive the team forward because he ultimately cares a lot about the club. So I think obvious.
Sorry, Darren. Don't you think that there's a bit of a blurred line between team captain and club captain? Because I think a lot of people are thinking he's going to be playing every week and so on. I don't think people are getting a bit mixed up a little bit.
Yeah, with club captain and team captain.
Yeah, I think, look, Troy's an impact player now for us. He's not going to play every week. We know that. No. We need to utilise him exactly when we need him.
Yeah.
It's probably in the dressing room we need him. I think that's probably the idea, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so we've got our representatives in tonight from ladies football, women's, or is it women's or ladies now? Women's football. You see, I'm used to saying blues ladies, and then I get that into my head, and it took me like years to remember that. Now it's going to take me years to remember it's blues women, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're our women's team, and playing at St Andrews, which is an absolute blessing. What's it like? Louise, for you, when you walk out of St Andrews, I know your crowds aren't massive. Even the blokes' crowds aren't massive because we can't even fill an half-empty stadium because half of it's shut and we still can't sell every seat off. I don't know what's going on there, but hey ho. But what was it like for you, St Andrews? I mean, it's a great place. And when you walk out that tunnel, you see all them blue and white chairs, and it's like, whoa, love it.
Yeah, it's excellent. It really is a lovely stadium. You can kind of even feel the history, feel a bit of the old school, obviously, which this year hasn't been great for some of the fans because they've had to shut it. But it's still so kind of authentic and everything about it. And as you say, just kind of walking out through the tunnel. It's actually even more when we're like arriving into the car park, and then you actually run straight through the centre. So like between the two dugouts, just to get down to the changing room. And I think I love that moment. I think coming in, getting ready for the game. You get to suss the whole pitch. You kind of just get to feel what kind of day it is. Because usually when players are coming in, you are just coming in kind of, the back door, and you're just straight into the change room. But I love actually being able to come out to the dugout, the couple of hours before the game, and actually just kind of, get a little walk around and just see what it's all about.
The bit that I love now, I must admit, right, I have not been to St Andrews to watch a women's game. I haven't, right? But I have been to Solihull Moors a few times, and I love is the interaction that you guys do with the fans after. You know, you've always got time for the kids and you know, photo shoots and this and that. I think that's absolutely lovely.
Yeah, it is, and you know, it is. It's a different crowd, different fans. There is definitely kind of a bit more of a, I don't know, like some can say family feel, but you know, for me now, and obviously even playing with the Irish national team, it is something that we are especially good at. And then the variety of crowd, and it's the exact same now here, you know, in Blues, and we're trying to, listen, we want the crowds to get bigger and better. We know it's you know, we're on a tough old kind of run at the moment, but you know, there's some absolutely, you know, massively loyal fans, and they're there week in, week out. They've gotten coaches up to away games, and we love it. And to us, it genuinely is what it's about. I think we are trying to actually change the game, and we're still in that process. There's been so much change lately, but we're all like, you know, I'm all about trying to make change, and then, you know, in years to come, it's going to be much better. But at least I can back and be like, you know what, I did as much as I could. I love being able to chat to the fans. It's as like, sometimes it's as special to me as it is for them, to be honest. So, you know, I think as a team we just love it.
Louise Quinn, player of the season for me, says Bick. There you go.
Bick. Lovely. Bick. Oh, Bick Singh.
Bick Singh, yeah.
Lovely man. Say hello to your dad as well, mate. Love them both. Absolutely great. We need to get them back in sometime, Chris.
Nick. Apparently, it's your mic and headphones are clicking.
Oh, right. Okay. 100% mine.
Yeah, it's yours. Yeah.
I think it's neck round neck.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Chris.
It's going against the zip.
Keep still.
Yeah.
The mic is going against the zip. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. If you keep still. If you keep still and don't talk, it works.
So, Louise, how does this compare to? Am I right in saying you joined us from Fiorentina?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was in Florence last year, Fiorentina, and just very different. So it was obviously I had a lot of change for the 3 seasons previous. I was playing for Arsenal, and then the 4 years previous to that, I was playing in Sweden. So I've definitely, you know, experienced kind of different cultures, different leagues. You know, and absolutely the thing about Florence, you know, love the lifestyle. There's, as in that, you know, and that place is a special stadium and a special club. But just the difference of women's football over there compared to here in the WSL, you know, is massive, and it's still actually deemed amateur. But the clubs have come up and obviously made it, you know, it is professional. You get professional contracts and stuff, but they, you know, they're the Italians. They tweak the rules as they kind of go.
Yeah.
And, but you know, absolutely loved it. But just the pace of it was a bit different for me. Sometimes it suited me. You know, I'm not the paciest centre back, but I know how to read the game. But there was just, you know, I wouldn't mind maybe going back a few years down the line when maybe I'm finished international and, you know, really kind of taking in the lifestyle and
live over there.
And it not be during COVID. So that was obviously really difficult. And obviously at the time, like I went bang in the middle of 2020 when Italy was not in a good place. You know, so it was all a bit, it was, you know, a lot to take on, but, you know, I absolutely loved it though as well. The kind of the skill and the technical side of the game over there is brilliant.
Yeah.
What's the general public's perception of women's football? Is it the same sort of attendance levels, or is it, you know?
Well, that was the thing. First of all, I never got to experience crowd ever.
Yeah, it was closed.
Literally everything was closed. But it's a strange one. Like Italians, they absolutely love football. They absolutely love it. And then, you know, even at times I'd be walking around, you know, the city or around where I lived, and there'd be people, you know, saying congrats on the result, and, you know, obviously all in Italian. So sometimes I was just like, but then sometimes it just wasn't backed though, you know. They love to talk about it. They probably would have watched the game, but there's kind of, I suppose, in the yeah, when it comes to the money side of it, you know, it was all kind of talk. And then even at the training ground and the men's training ground, we had trouble, you know, kind of even being around there. One of the managers didn't want us to be in the building when he was in the building, or to not go by his office because we were, you know, too loud, and go in
not
the back
very
and go to the gym.
Sorry, Louise, not very receptive.
No, but in some ways, absolutely, and then in others, not so much. You know, and that was even at times there was, you know, women who were in the club, like we had our general manager was a woman, and at times she was just telling us to be grateful for what we had. And you know, we had made such strides, and you know, where I'd been in WSL and then with the Irish team as well. So we actually get equal pay to the men as well. We've had our own, you know, kind of going on strike there a few years ago, and now we actually have equal pay. Yeah, or so almost on strike. We missed one training session, but we basically we got everything done up between our kind of PFA. Yeah, and just not being treated very well at the time. The CEO, John Delaney, who's not great, and thankfully gone out of the FAI. He I could say a lot of curse words about him. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not.
Not on. You can't bleep me out, can you?
I can actually.
Tell you what, Louise, say it in Italian.
Oh. Yeah, I could actually.
Oh no, don't! Mamma mia!
Just a lot of
Louise. Louise, what part of Sweden was you at?
I was an hour west of Stockholm, a place called Eskilstuna, which wasn't known at all. And then we kind of put, even ourselves at the time in the women's team that was there, we kind of put the town on the map. And you know, I went there when there was 100 people watching, and then by the time I finished, they were trying to put extra seats in the stadium, 6,000-7,000 people.
What? Wow.
We were in the second division when I started, and then by my last season, the third or fourth season, we were in Champions League.
Did you ever play in a town called Trollhättan?
Trollhättan? No, don't think so. Whereabouts is it?
As you go up the 45, just before the big lakes, where the Saab factory was, just below the big lake. Yeah.
Just below the big lake. The one to the left or the right?
To the left, I think.
Okay, yeah. I know where you're
going. Why am I thinking that's a joke? I was waiting for the punchline.
Absolutely. No, I genuinely worked in Trollhättan for about 2 years, actually.
Is that next to Bob Hatton?
Couple of questions here for Louise. Did Louise have a plan B if a football career didn't work out? And well done, by the way, says Dom.
Very nice. A plan B. Like, I'm going to say yes and no. Literally, I was just, far too focused on plan A.
Yeah.
You know, I maybe even did come like a little bit later to the party, but that's so I did. I went to university and I got my degree. You know, and I was enjoying my football in Ireland, and again, even that being one of the maybe weaker teams in at the time, like we were playing Champions League as well, and I was kind of getting myself, you know, trying to really get myself in with the Irish team, but. Yeah, that was it. So I did sports and exercise management. So just kind of add to that. I was very close to doing nursing, that probably would have changed everything then, I'd say.
See, right, Louise, I really don't want to butt in, but you know, if it was me and I was doing sports, I'd need you as a nurse. I want to bring Darren in right now. Darren, look, we're guilty as charged, mate. On this show, we haven't done enough for the women's game. We haven't, right? And we put our hands up. We used to have Mr. Fun, Chris Pugh on here, who was very knowledgeable, and we've now lost that kind of link to the women's football. What can we do as a group, a forum, a Facebook show, a radio show? What can we do to help you promote the women's game in Birmingham?
I think obviously your fan base, and I know obviously a lot of Blue Noses watch you week in, week out. So it's just obviously bringing awareness to our results, to our performances, to the players. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the group we've got, and this isn't just me saying it. I've said it to Skip and to the players a lot, that they embody what Birmingham City is, and that's the one thing that Craig Gardner said to me from the outset, was he wants the identity of Birmingham City with this team. And you know, his players have got it in an abundance. So for me, you know, we need to shine a light on them, because they are representing the club. They're doing the club proud, in my opinion. And listen, we represent Birmingham City as much as obviously the first team, the 23s, 18. So that's the environment, that's the culture that we want at this club. Whoever wears the blue and white, deserves to have that light shined on them.
Stephen Gill, who writes our ladies blog for the Tilton Talk, he wants to know, he said, ask Darren what was the first thing he did when he came in at Blues Women's.
Spoke to my skipper. I think it's just the one thing I had to do was obviously get to know the players, and I think that the season had been full of adversity, and obviously results hadn't been going well. So I think you just try and find out why, and ultimately, get the feedback from the players and try to then implement different things that are going to change the mindset. And that was the biggest thing, was rewiring the mindset. And I think Skip will tell you that, there was a game style before that was more about soaking up pressure and being on the back foot, if you like, and trying to counter attack. And, I came in, and myself and Marcus said straight away that we weren't getting into the final third anywhere near enough to really test teams or put teams on the back foot. So, yeah, I think it was just a rewiring of the mindset, get to know the players, their abilities, and what we're good at, and then you try and utilise that in the best possible way and put a system in place and a structure. Just
coming in as well, you've got Durham away apparently in the cup.
Yeah, I've just been seeing that. Yeah, we just had the message.
Are they any good? Or?
They're they're not bad. I think they're top of it. No, I think Liverpool are top of the championship, aren't they? I think Durham are up there though. They've had a good season.
Okay. 3 or 4, championship.
Well, all I can say is, Darren, just go up there and smash them.
We'll do our best to go up there and win.
Good man. Good man.
I don't know if this is a proper question, but Steve Paul wants to know from Louise, what do you think of those mad supporters who hang around by the tunnel? I don't know whether that's a private joke.
I think so. Yeah, it must be one of the lads that I'm always talking to all the time. Down by the tunnel, there's always a special few that wait around, kind of no matter what, and just have a quick enough chat not to make them even colder than they are. But obviously, just they're pretty much there almost week in, week out, and as I said, we love it and always appreciate it, and love the mad support, love the Blue Noses.
Chris Brown.
Yes, I'm here.
Right. Can we organise a Tilton Talk Show Women's Day Out?
I'd love to. I think so. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it. A Tilton Talk Show Women's Day Out. Everybody who watches and listens to this show, meet up, bar 8 or wherever you want to meet up. I don't know, and we'll show you what madness is going.
and I believe we've got some tickets to give away as well for Leicester. Craig will let me know about that later.
Yeah.
So
Darren, for you and your career, I guess this is a great move for you, isn't it? To take over the Blues women's team you was at the Baggies, weren't you, before, under 23s, yeah?
So I was with the women's team at West Brom, yeah. So obviously I left Solihull Moors in the summer. I was on my A licence anyway, so it was more a case of I just wanted to coach, get out on the grass and coach, and West Brom gave me an opportunity, and I know a fair few people still at the club, and went in there and coached there was first team coach for 2.5-3 months, and then obviously Guards gave me the call and said, do I fancy coming back to Blues, and that was it really. So in terms of, for me now, obviously I officially pretty much hung the boots up in the summer. I didn't plan to play last year for the Moors, but with injuries and COVID, I ended up playing about 20 odd games. And so, I was sort of coaching and playing. Whereas, in the summer, I said to myself, right, I need to, I love coaching. I'm so passionate about it. And I want to dedicate my full attention to it. So, that was the
Can I just, sorry, Darren, for jumping in. When you sort of finish playing the game, do you sort of get a sort of wave of sadness, or is it like a sudden, you're too busy going to other things? You know what I mean? Do you reflect on it a lot? Or
do you know what? I probably a few weeks back, I got sent some clips from over my career, and I've got access to Y Scout now. I don't know if you guys know the website. You literally can go on there and watch any player, any clips from years gone by. And the vain part of me then went, you know what, I'm going to see what my clips were like from 5-6 years ago. And I got quite nostalgic with it and watching and realising it's the first time I've actually sat back and thought, okay, I'm not going to actually play anymore. And it was just a seamless transition. Last year was always the plan was for me to transition from playing into coaching. I'd never expected to play as much last year as I ended up doing. But after the summer year, I was literally coaching. I say that I've got just the same buzz. And I know some players say that when they quit playing, they do miss it. And I do a little bit, but I'm just so passionate about the other side of it now. And certainly keeps me busy. But sort of thinking about it, it seems quite surreal that I won't be playing anymore. But I was very lucky. I had a very decent long career and didn't have many injuries. Thankfully. I was very very lucky.
How much of a help has Craig been since you've been at Blues with me?
Guards.
Yeah, Guards.
Well, I've known Guards literally from when we were little. Our families know each other, and obviously, I used to see Guards running around kicking a football when he was young. So, listen, he cares obviously as much about the football club as I do, and he wants it to go in the right direction. And he's got one hell of a job on. I know he's been pulled, left, right, and centre to get this club back in the trajectory that we all want it to. I try my best not to pester him too much, because I know he's a very, very busy man. But listen, he's said this year that he's getting involved for the first time with the women's team and being across it all and wants to really help us. And listen, he's willing to help us in any way that we see fit. And like I say, I'll definitely be taking him up on that more often.
How many times did you get to see the men's team? Do you get to many games, or?
I've got to a few. I think like this Friday, for instance, I'll be at the Sheffield United game. Because obviously we're training full time now, and Saturdays we are in training, so it's obviously match day -1 for us. We're playing on Sunday, so if I get a chance, if it's midweek and I can get down and watch the games, I will. As I said, my dad rings me and gives me the match report in full. I'm never missing a moment when it comes to the men's team.
Let's take it back for 20 years, if you don't mind. It's 20 years ago. It's from that special day when obviously you put us in the Premier League for the first time. I just wanted to ask you, what did Steve Bruce actually say to you when he put you on? Because who did you come on for? Was it Tommy Mooner?
No, it was Steve Vickers.
Okay.
Yeah, if you remember, Steve Vickers was playing centre half, and Olivia Tebbley was playing central mid. So obviously, I think Steve came off with an injury, and Tebs went back to centre half, and obviously I came on alongside Hughesy then. So I'm not entirely sure I don't think Brucey said much, to be honest. I think from what I can remember anyway. Obviously, I played that second half of the season pretty much every game with Hughesy in there, so he knew obviously that he could trust me, and so I'm glad he did chuck me on when he did.
We're glad he did as well. And
we are.
All I want to know, I think I've asked you this question, but it was a few years ago. Like, you're stood there, right? The world is watching you. The whole world is watching you put that ball on that penalty spot. You're 18 years old. You've got 45,000 Birmingham City fans in front of you, right, including me and my kids, and you have to walk up and take the penalty that puts our football team back. I've got so many goosebumps and through back into the Premier League, into the Premier League, as Paul said, for the very first time. What was running through your mind?
Again, I think my age probably sort of, what can I say? probably served me well, because I didn't actually probably take in the moment or the enormity of it. I was just super, super confident. I knew that I was going to score. I had this supreme confidence. We practiced them, weeks in advance. And when it came to, I actually wanted to take a penalty. And I always remember who took the penalty just before me for Norwich. I actually was hoping that he scored, just because I wanted to take the penalty, not just not for the glory, but I just knew I was going to score. And I wish I could tell you I had that feeling ever since in my career, but I've got more nervous taking penalties in front of 1,500 at Solihull Moors than I did that day.
Did you know the financial enormity of what that one shot was going to mean to a football club?
Not at all. Not at all.
No. When did you realise?
Probably years later.
Really?
I think after, obviously, people tell you it's like £40 million penalty or something like that. But literally, it was, the whole season was a roller coaster. I'd made my debut in the January, and obviously I was just thrown into the mix, and I think I hadn't really took in that I was playing for my club. I'd made my debut. I was playing, and all of a sudden I'm at Cardiff in a playoff final, taking a penalty. So it was just it was a whirlwind. From that January to the May was an absolute whirlwind. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Sorry. One more quick one from me, Paul. Yeah. You've hit that ball. It's gone in the net. What was that? Not only the feeling, but the noise like.
It was. Again, it takes you like years before I actually thought about it, and watching it back now, I get more emotional watching it back and seeing people's faces and reactions. And I always remember walking up, and I probably said this loads of times, there was a bit of a gasp from the Blues fans, because I think they saw this 18-year-old kid stepping up. They're thinking, what the hell is Brucey thinking?
Guilty.
I've had it a few times. And there was a gasp, but no, after, it was just incredible. Like you say, obviously Blues fans on the pitch, and I got lads who had played Sunday League football jumping on my back, and it was just it was amazing.
All right, Debs.
Okay, ladies and gents, we're joined by the one and only Mr. Paul Devlin.
Hang on.
Turn your phone round, Dev. Put your phone.
What do what?
Put your phone on landscape.
Turn your phone round. Turn your phone. That's
better.
Oh, for God. He's got one of them. He's still got a Nokia.
Yours are all the wrong way around now.
He's still got a Nokia 3210, hasn't he?
I was desperately trying to remember what that was, Chris.
3210. I've actually got one down here.
I was going to say that he did well to score that penalty with his shirt on, because I forgot how irritating the collar is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Looks
a bit tight, that does, Paul.
No, it's all right
now. No, it's definitely tight.
So, Darren, from my point of view, all I can say is, as you were taking that penalty, I was above the corner flag on your left-hand side, yeah?
Yeah.
Right at the top with my three sons. And when it went in, I ain't joking you, mate, the tears just flowed and flowed and flowed. It was like being back up in the Cop in the 70s.
Funny you should say that. I can't listen to Status Quo without thinking of that now. Of the world. It always takes me back to being at Cardiff.
Dev's our technical expert says you've got screen rotation locked.
Yeah, we'll tell you, technical expert. I don't know what that is.
Wipe down on the screen. You should have like a thing that comes up with a lock, and you just press on that, and it should switch it off.
No. Let's go with what we got. Let's go with what we got.
Go with what we got.
Yeah,
all right, Debs,
because we'll lose him.
Right, here we go. Debs, you're taking part in a charity boxing match. Tell us all about it.
I'll make him look good. Don't worry.
Yeah, March the 26th for Love Brom charity nights up at the Regency Suite on Hadley Road. I've been asked a couple of times to do stuff like this, but I'm 50 in April, so I thought now's the time to do it. I'm approaching my prime, so I thought better get now. I don't want to be over the hill before I do it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to start training twice a week down with Dean Sherrington tomorrow evening. I'm also doing a 300-mile bike ride over 3 days in June.
for the Road to Recovery cycling program that helps people with addiction problems. So a busy year for me this year.
Excellent, mate. I'll tell you what, you're an absolute credit to yourself, but I promise you, and to all Blue Noses.
Do you know who you're fighting?
Yeah. No, I've asked them to scour the country for a 65-year-old.
Mike Tyson.
broken down. No, I don't know yet. I don't think. Yeah, I think what they do, they get everyone training, and they just see, they match people up, obviously on age, ability, size, stuff.
Well,
like
it won't be me, Dev, because I'm only 60. We could chuck Auntie Linda in.
Yeah, he just looks a lot older.
It'd be interesting. Knowing more, look, I'll probably get a 6'5" Villa fan.
Oh no!
I'd still fancy you, Dev.
In what way?
I thought he might have been ready to be Robbie Savage, Dev.
Bloody hell, that would last about 30 seconds. He's only about 6. Mind you, saying that, he's put a bit of timber on, so he might be in the heavyweight division now. He'd last 30 seconds, Sav.
Oh, what a great programme Sav put together on Macclesfield Town. And absolutely brilliant.
I saw that.
If you've not had the chance to watch it, if you've not had the chance to watch it, absolutely watch it. It was absolutely superb. Had me on the edge of my seat, even though I sit on the floor.
That's good. That was.
Yeah, so Dev, we were just on about, like, it's 20 years this year since obviously we beat Norwich on penalties in Cardiff, and you know Darren was just talking us through his penalty, but talk us through yours. Obviously, how did it feel for you? Obviously, you know, as a Blues fan as well, stepping up and putting that in the bottom corner. Just talk us through it from like when you was head on.
I think Daz will agree with me. It's probably the worst and the best experience of your life. You know, you're dreading. You know, the walk from the halfway line to the penalty spot seems to take forever. Obviously, me and Daz both Brummies, so we knew the enormity of it. To be fair, I just heard Daz saying that, you know, we had been practicing them for weeks and weeks, and we had some really good penalty takers. I'd always been a penalty taker at the clubs that I'd been at anyway, but I had cramp in my calves because obviously playing the 90 minutes and injury time. And whenever I took a penalty, if ever you look back, I always had quite a long run-up when I took penalties. And I knew if I had my normal length of run-up, that my calves would cramp up before I hit the ball. So I had to sort of cut down my run-up a little bit and time it so I could hit the ball without my calves cramping up. But it was unbelievable, you know, probably the best moment of my career to see, you know, smash the back of the net. And I've only watched it back a couple of times, and I think you see when I score, I sort of put my hands in the air and take a big sigh. It was just relief. The goal looks about an inch big, and the goalie looks like 20 foot tall when you're taking a penalty, when you think of what's at stake. But now, brilliant. You know, 20 years ago, it's just, you know, a blink of an eye really for me.
Yeah, and me.
Apparently, Stan Collymore's fighting that night as well.
Stan's fighting that night as well.
Apparently, I've just been told. Yeah.
I hope you get him. Oh, Debs, I hope you get him. I hope you wipe the floor with the. He's blocked.
Listen, I could have made a very cutting remark there about his opponent, but I didn't.
You could have, yeah. It might have been appropriate, yeah. Are we gonna mention that at all, Nick, or do we need to mention the news about the you know what, footballer and the abuse?
Right, you dropped out there, Chris, a little bit. Sorry.
Are we going to talk about the abuse on that young lady, or should we leave it another time?
Crack on, carry on.
No, I'm not going to talk about it. You can if you like.
Are we talking about the lady from Redditch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'll gen you up at another time. Let's carry on. Let's carry on.
Unless Paul knows anything, does he?
Yeah, I presume you mean Mason Greenwood, do you?
Yeah, Mason Greenwood. Yeah, I mean, shall we talk about it or leave that for another time?
I think an active court case shouldn't be talked about.
Yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay, then.
And then it's judged by Facebook, isn't it? Okay. Let the courts take their decisions and do what they need to do throughout this process, and you know, whatever will be, will be. I don't think it's really our personal business. Do you get me?
Yeah.
All right then.
Okay, let's move on.
And as we're Blues, I don't really want to talk about Mason Greenwood anyway.
No, neither do I.
Nice one.
Linda Edner said she'll come and wipe your brow, Dead.
She can be in the corner, Linda.
Yeah, you don't want her in your corner, I'm telling you. No, that's her age.
I've had quite a lot of Blues fans on looking for tickets, and that's anyone wants tickets, just drop me a text. So hopefully it'll be a great night. We'll raise a few quid for Love Brum. You know, Love Brum do a lot for the city, so it'd be brilliant to help them out.
Yeah. So when do tickets go on sale? Devs, people are asking now.
If anyone's interested, they can just inbox me on Facebook, whatever, you know, any social platform. I should probably get them in a couple of weeks, but if you let me know now. Obviously, I can get them ordered.
Brilliant.
Okay, perfect. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Good
Brilliant. Marvellous.
So Louise,
and Chris, are you going to hold Dev's spit bucket?
not this bucket. I'll tell you that now.
I want to ask Louise, your club as a child growing up, did you follow football from a young age, and who was your club when you was growing up as a kid?
Yeah, literally I was playing football for as soon as I could. There was any sort of ball shaped object around the house, I was kicking it around and I was into it. But yeah, so Liverpool are my team.
Okay.
I'll picture your cat when it was curled up on the settee then.
Who's your favourite players, Louise, growing up?
Honestly, growing up, it was actually my favourite now was Michael Owen. So I always had 10 on the jersey, used to play even on the so actually then my best friend at the time, then he was an Everton fan, and his favourite player was Duncan Ferguson. So he'd wear 9 and I'd wear 10 for Michael Owen. And just a crazy fans, just from my dad supporting them. And I remember just being at a friend's like birthday party, and you know, I was probably 4 years old, and then I've 2 older sisters, and so then they would have been 6 and 8 years old. It was like, oh, what team do you support? Hands up, who supports United? And I kind of just had like no idea. I was like, well, probably saw my friend put their hand up, so I was there, and then my sister like grabbed it down. She was like, "You're not a United fan," and I was like, "Right, okay." And they were like, "Okay, who's a Liverpool fan?" I kept my hand down. My sister was like, "Put your hand up," and I was like, "Yeah." Then I literally remember that moment, like, standing in my friend's living room, and then that was it. I'd say honestly, I was 4 or 5 old.
Did you know a lot about Blues before you came to us, or Birmingham as a city?
In terms of like the men's side of the club,
Yeah.
Like
or the city itself. Yeah, did you know much about Birmingham?
Yeah, the city itself, I didn't know too much about. So I actually, before, just as I moved from Sweden to England, I actually played for Notts County for like 2 months, and then the women's side of the club went into liquidation. So I was literally only there for, as I say, 8 or 10 weeks. Then, club was just gone, and then that's when I got my move to Arsenal then, and so moved down to London. So you know, I could have been fairly kind of in tune at the time, you know, with the Midlands, but then kind of never. It was always my intention then to get to Birmingham, and but yeah, just as it was, I always knew Blues as a club, and as I said, there was some amazing Irish players as well. Like Stephen Carr and everything like that, you know. And now obviously there's, you know, Scotty Hogan obviously doing well and putting some important goals away. And so it's, you know, I'm not going to say I knew everything about them, but you always just the famous club. I think the jersey is always just the famous jersey that you always recognise, you know. Yeah,
definitely. Mandy wants to know, are you from Dublin?
No, I'm from Wicklow. My mum will be very disappointed with that now. She always says I kind of have a bit too much of a Dublin accent.
Okay.
But no, Wicklow is directly below Dublin. So I kind of, and I've spent a lot of my time in Dublin, obviously playing football and university.
Good question is from Nigel Nunn. What does Louise think about female referees in today's game?
Good question.
I just sometimes think referees in general, sometimes in the league, are poor. To me, I really don't mind what gender they are. You know, there are some excellent ones, and I think obviously you kind of sometimes get them at international level, and I think it is something they are trying to push, and I understand the reason why, that they want a lot more female referees reffing the games. But for me, if they're, you know, not able to control the game or make the right decisions, for me, I just want whoever's best for the job.
Well, we had one a couple of weeks ago, and she was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, probably Sian Massey, maybe, is it?
I don't know, but probably one of the best refs that we've actually had at
for the FA
Blues
Cup game.
game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rebecca Welsh, was it?
Oh, I
Rebecca
know. Yeah. I know who you're on about. Yeah, she's very good. Very, very good. And then
I was really impressed, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. No, she's a very, very good ref. And then there usually is Sian Massey. I'm thinking of saying her Sian Massey. Who's usually a lino.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think I've ever seen her get one call wrong.
No, she's good.
She wouldn't need VAR. Honestly, she gets it right every time. So for me, honestly, it's the quality, and it's even the same. We've had plenty of male referees as well, and it's just about taking control of the game, and having that kind of equality of the calls that are being made. For me, it's that's one of the biggest problems.
Steve Portman says new job for Auntie Lynn, the female referee.
Yeah.
She's nearly 70, for goodness sake.
And the rest.
So, Dev, how much training into this fight, Dev? Have you got like someone who's coaching you like boxing, or?
Yeah. I start tomorrow, Paul. Yes, starting tomorrow and Thursdays. With Dean Sherrington down in Chelmsley Wood.
Oh, okay.
So I've got a good 6 or 7 weeks leading up to it. And you know me, Paul, anyway, I always stay in pretty good shape anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it, mate. I'm more worried about the bike ride, if I'm being honest, because 300 miles over 3 days, my arse is going to be, I ain't going to be able to walk. So I'm more worried about that than getting my face punched, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, there you go, Linda. Another job for Linda. Another job for Linda.
Linda, I might need you.
Bring your wet wipes.
Paul, I could do them 300 miles, mate. 3 days, no problem.
Yeah, of course.
No problem at all.
Yeah.
As long as it's all downhill.
Yeah.
No.
I heard on. I listened to a medical program today, and it actually said that men's cyclists, have problems down below. So getting punched in the face is going to be a piece of cake.
Well, hang on. Hang on. Is this?
I'll officially tell you I'm withdrawing from it then.
Is that bike riding in Australia?
No.
Problems down below.
Yes, down below.
Yeah.
We got a lady on the program. I can't say.
You've seen the way he talks to his
normally do. You don't normally hold back.
Stephen Gill wants to know for Louise, were you and Christy Murray at Arsenal together?
No, we weren't at Arsenal together. I think we just missed each other. But yeah, Christy's always been a player that I've always known a lot about, and she's friends with a few of the Irish girls, and I'd always just known Christy from watching her playing against her. She's on the Scottish national team as well, and finally I actually get to play with her now and not against her, because tell you what, like she's special on the ball, and obviously when you're in a 1v1 with her, she could literally run through my legs with the ball like no bother. She's as nippy as anything, and she always goes for the megs on me as well in training. It's very annoying, but now to have her in front of me now is much better.
Is there good interaction between the women's and the men's Blues compared to Arsenal, or is it about the same?
I wouldn't say there's a massive amount of interaction, but I definitely see the Blues lads more, and they're always like pretty sound, and always say hello or ask something, obviously, and I think he has that that rep. But George Friend, what he says on the tin, he's and he has a daughter as well, and so I think he's even come to a couple of games in the past, and always just really interested. So for me, actually, I think there is that bit more of interaction. There was some with the girls in Arsenal. So like if you were a player with an injury going through rehab, then they'd see then some of the lads as they're in the gym, but in general, hardly ever. Photo day maybe. And
Dev's someone recommended here. Sorry, Bob. My apologies. Say again.
No, I was saying used to see Aubameyang on the street because sure you could see his car from 2 miles away. Honest to God.
Debs, a bit of advice for Debs here from Michael Woods. Buy a gel saddle. I've never heard of one. Highly recommended. Did 500k in 6 days in Vietnam, Cambodia with no issues. A gel saddle.
Right. Okay. I'll be ordering that tomorrow.
Good man. Good man.
Do you watch the game yesterday, Dev? The Derby game. I just wonder what your thoughts were.
I saw bits and bobs of it. I was my lads were playing, so I didn't see a great deal of it. Saw the last few minutes, obviously the equalising goal. So I can't really give you an opinion on the whole game. You know, we were well on top, obviously, from the little bits I've seen. And then the equalising goal's offside, isn't it? It's offside. Yeah. And it's dangerous.
4 of them. 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great finish, to be fair. But if you were to do that on the halfway line, the ref would blow up 10 times out of 10. But I think, obviously, you know, before it gets to the brilliant overhead kick, Sturman's offside. A few people have said on social media, well, Derby should have had a penalty and handball and maybe a sending off. But, you know, it is what it is. In all honesty, from the bits I saw, we should have had the game out of sight before it came to that anyway.
Absolutely. Too right. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. There was a good question coming earlier from Jason Hughes as well. I think it was for you, Darren. Is there much of a difference in the atmosphere in the female dressing room compared to the male dressing room, to the men's? Is it the same sort of camaraderie and banter, or is it different, or how do they compare?
Is there much swearing? He wants to know.
That's probably a question for Skip, but no, I don't think it varies. It differs, to be honest. Dressing room or changing room atmosphere is always going to be the same. I think you know our group have got some characters in, and Skip will tell you that. And you know, so I don't think it differs. Obviously, it's a different dynamic for the women's game. You know, especially as us as you know, myself, Marcus, and Tony. Is obviously we've got a lot of men on the staff, so it's kind of, you know, we're not in the dressing room a lot, obviously. But yeah, listen, I think the group are, you know, they've got a real sort of togetherness, and there's always banter going on. I'm sure Skip can probably tell you a little bit more than I can. Yeah.
You got any good pranks you can tell us about, Louise? Any good banter?
Lean?
Oh, I don't know how much I can say now, to be honest. I was interested to actually hear Carter's answer, because obviously, yeah, you know, I wouldn't really know if there is, you know, that kind of like what it is to believe, and I've been in lots of different change rooms, and everyone just kind of has their thing. Some are, you know, very tuned into the music, you know, and kind of like love then just bopping around the place a little bit. Others are just kind of like, you know, you can just kind of see the concentration on them. Then others are just kind of, getting in banter. And it's just kind of, it's a lovely dressing room to be in, though. Like, I just love a dressing room, though, where as long as you just feel comfortable in what you generally do, because, you know, you usually have kind of your either your role in the dressing room, or just, you know, you can be, you know, a proper laugh, but then you're kind of switched on for the game. For me, as long as people are comfortable, that's kind of the most important. And I think we have a really nice balance. You know, no one is forced to get up and dance around the changing room and do this, that, and the other, or no one is forced to, you know, keep shut and concentrate on the game. So that's nice.
That's good.
Interesting.
What about you? Dance around the dressing room, Dev?
You are?
You used to dance around the dressing room.
In those eels.
All that we used to do, be me, Horse, and John. I would say, right, where we're going after the game, where we're going. That was my role in the dressing room, where we were going after.
What were you, logistics manager?
Yes, and social manager.
And what was Tate?
Head
case, yeah.
Well, to be honest, Tate, wherever we wanted to go, Tate was normally barred anyway, so it wasn't a problem.
Tim Andrews, you just said, are you ready for your fight, Dev?
I only agreed to it yesterday. I've spoke to Tim. Tim's a great fella. So hopefully 6 or 7 weeks down the line, I'll be ready for it. I'm not sure how good I'll be, but I'll be ready for it.
Have you ever done anything like that before, Des?
No. Like I say, I mean, I always keep myself in good shape.
Apart from on the pitch a few times.
Hey?
Apart from on the pitch a few times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had plenty of experience of having a scrap on the pitch, but never an organised one. So, yeah, I'm looking for. Listen, we all like to think that we can have a fight, don't we? I'll find out.
No.
Dev,
I've had a few.
Dev, what's your walk-on music going to be?
Do you know what? I was just thinking about that. I was just in the gym before I come on. I'm going to do, I think, a little suggestion. But what can I walk onto and see what people?
Here we go, people. What can Dev walk onto? You got 5 minutes.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
It's some ideas.
Dev's walk onto.
It's got to be something a bit lively, though.
Yeah.
Come on, get it going.
Metal in it, bit of metal, something like that, I'd imagine.
Bit of Aussie, yeah.
Tim Faraday says, Dev, keep your chin down, or keep your chins down. I want you in a film one day, remember?
Hey?
I want you in a film one day, remember? Says Tim Faraday.
Well, if I just tell Tim, if I win this fight, then he can cast me as a hard man.
Yeah. I can see you as a hard man, actually. Yeah.
Nigel Mann says Savage Garden.
No.
Michael Wood says, man, I feel like a woman. Ray Hobro says, Dev to walk onto Mambo number 5. John Williams says, Mr. Blue Sky. Jeremy will sing you on, said Lindsay. Come on,
no problem. Well, we'll hear him, won't we? We'll be able to hear him, no problem.
Definitely. Peter Taylor says, can we see if Kevin Muscat is up for a fight?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right,
yes. No, but
Stephen Gill said, go on.
I think I'd have to give way for Martin O'Connor to fight him. I wouldn't. I think Martin would like to step up for that one.
Yeah.
Or Granger. Granger.
More Granger.
Well, there's half a dozen, probably.
Plenty more coming in. Stephen Gilwright said, Fred, I'm too sexy for Dev. Justin McDonough, keep right on. Jason Hughes, I get knocked down and I get up again. Paul McCartney wants a Smurfs. Motorhead hates the space from Lee Magazine.
The Smurfs.
Roll out the barrel. And we've got the town cross, simply the best.
Oh, dear.
It's raining men. Devil in disguise. Devil in disguise. I like Devil in disguise.
Go on, Paul. Brilliant. Go on, Paul.
I was just going to ask Darren, if you was boxing, what would be your walk-on music?
Finally, I'm going home. I've done my time.
I don't know. I've always loved a bit of Oasis, maybe some might say. That's one of my favourite tunes. So people go in. So it's like that. I think.
I'd have to walk onto Prodigy. I would something like Breathe or No Good Dance or something like that. That'd be better.
Guy Courtney says the Benny Hill theme for Devs.
Yeah, we've got Eye of the Tiger, the Benny Hill theme, Village People, YMCA, Stephen Gill, Mr. Blobby from Dave.
I don't think they're taking it serious, are they? They're not taking it serious at all.
Yeah, Chumbawamba, I get knocked down. Yeah, we've had that one.
Oh, yeah.
Me Nah by the Muppets and Walk on the Wild Side. Don't Look Back in Anger. That's been brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant.
Phenomena.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Darren, can I?
Go on.
Can I ask you about if you were arranging a meaningful match between your women's team and an age group of men or youths, what age group would make a meaningful contest?
Good question, I think.
I mean, I know women's football is very different, but if you wanted to toughen them up, toughen the ladies up, or whatever.
You don't need to toughen ladies up at football, for crying out loud. They go down and they get back up again. They don't roll over 16 times.
Yeah. I'll take you any day, mate. No worries.
Hey!
I was going to say, you've got one of the toughest players in the WSL on here. So
yeah, she scares me.
I think, listen, I think the perception of women's football has definitely come on leaps and bounds. And, people always, I think, probably men especially, will allude to the physicality of it. But I can tell you firsthand that, the games are just as physical.
I can tell you, Carts, I would not even want to do a training session with the women. I would not. I promise you.
Well, you couldn't. You couldn't.
Well, no, I can't. But even if I was, back in my 20s when I've got a little bit of fitness left, you know what I mean? There's simply no way, mate. No way reserve.
Yeah, I think we're going back to your question. I think so. When I was at Solihull Moors, and I was actually coaching the under-18s, and Blues at the time. Mark Skinner was manager. He asked me if they were preparing for a game, and could we play against them? And it was quite interesting to see how our lads, obviously 16, 17-year-old lads, went about the game. I thought it was a great experience for them because I think they thought at first, look, can I be physical? And I think they found out within 5 minutes that it's a proper game. Do you know what I mean? Nothing changes. You still go in, 100%. And I think it was a great learning experience for them. And this was going back probably five years ago now.
They took on an under-18 side.
Yeah. So we played with ladies. Yeah. So I think I think it's a bit of sort of the perception has always been that, but it's like I say, the physicality and everything else is exactly the same. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very well answered, by the way, as well.
Very well answered.
Lindsay Marie wants to know, what advice would Louise give to young girls wanting to make a career in football?
For me, it was to literally just believe it, and see it, and watch it, and see that it is so possible that you can really achieve anything. For me, it's just that you kind of get to see your idols, you get to see your favorite team playing. That's one thing that kind of puts that dream and that kind of mentality in your mind. And then for me, it's always just been enjoy it. I've gone through every stage of my career and wondering at times if I've needed to move on, and it's always just kind of been that question, like, am I enjoying it? At times it's always going to be tough, and obviously now you can say, are we enjoying it? We're down in a relegation battle, but I'm genuinely enjoying it. I really love turning up for training every day, and fighting for Blues, and that's my style of play. It's what I really like. So for me, just believing in it, enjoying it, making friends. It is some of the cliches, but that's kind of what can bring you through. And then things start to change and you start to go up different levels, and there's different pressures. But for me, once you just kind of see that goal and see how many amazing female footballers are around, it's such an achievable dream. Can
I just jump in there, Nick? I think just quickly back to what Skip's saying, that it's been apparent to me since I've been in the women's game that you get young girls, and I've heard so many stories of them. They love football, and they're at school and they have to play with the boys, at lunchtime and everything else. They'll get they get teased and a girl playing football. But now, because the women's game is moving forward, and obviously now the WSL is being broadcast and Sky Sports and everything else, young girls now can actually look up and see people like Louise and look at your top players who play for England and the national teams, and they can see a pathway. It's not now, maybe 5-10 years ago where it was, is football an option? Whereas now they can see that, there's the game has moved on. It's, full-time professionals. So I think it's giving young girls a real, opportunity. And like you say, they can actually dream of becoming a professional footballer. He's actually there for them. There's a pathway.
I remember seeing Karen Carney for the first time in an international, and she scored 2 great goals. And we're discussing it afterwards. And I said, don't care what you say, she is a footballer. Anything, she's a footballer. And what she showed on that night, that she was a footballer. Everything else is superfluous. And that stuck with me. And I've seen lots of women's football, and they are footballers. End of.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, I think if you look at obviously in the WSL now, and there's internationals galore all over the league, and you look at obviously England as well now, and the players that they've got at their disposal. yeah, listen, and Karen came through, obviously, and it's a shame that Marcus isn't on tonight, because obviously Marcus played a huge part in basically shaping a team round Kaz and making sure there was a pathway for someone like her. So yeah, you know, like you say, there's some super talented players, and the game's only going to get stronger, and so it should.
Million dollar question, but do you think we will ever see a woman make it into the men's game?
Question.
Again, I don't know. I think there's just so much around the politics of it. You know what I mean? In terms of that, you know, just, you know, changing room dynamics and everything else. I don't ever see bit mixing, but I think the fact that, you know, the women's game is growing. You talked earlier about sort of female referees and everything else, and you know, I think that's only going to, you know, become bigger, and there's going to be more female referees in the game. And I was actually on a call today. I was going to mention it earlier. I was on a call with all the managers and talking about refereeing in the WSL and how, you know, most of them are still part-time, which, you know, we're supposed to be an elite professional full-time league, and you've still got part-time refs, and people like Rebecca Welsh, as soon as they do very well, they go straight into the men's game. And it's like, well, you know, she still should be reffing in the WSL. So that's still an issue. So, but yeah, from a playing side, I think, obviously I don't know what Skip has got to say about that, but I just think the politics around that, I wouldn't potentially see it.
Aaron, do you have men refereeing the women's games?
Yes, we had up at Reading. We had it was an all men officiating team.
Right. And who chooses them?
It comes from the league. So right. Yeah, but again, I wasn't aware that there was a lot of part-time referees still, and that really shocked me today, to be honest. And you know, a fair few of the managers on the call were saying the same, that it's, you know, how can you have part-time referees or officials in the WSL? It just can't happen.
How do you change it?
Again, I think it's funding. At the end of the day, you fund or put money into to bring more referees through and make them full-time. Also, the question was posed: why can't officials who are refereeing in the men's game come down and obviously officiate in the WSL? It does seem like it's you know, it's not really being talked about, because we need full-time officials, whether it's male or female, because you've got people who are potentially running the line on a Friday and then turning up on a Sunday to referee one of our games, and you're thinking, well, are they, you know, in condition or fit enough to do that, being part-time? And
yeah.
So yeah, there's loads of questions and things that still need to be sorted.
Keep plugging.
I think we could see a female manager in the men's game.
Yeah, I can see that.
That without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, if you look at probably someone like Emma Hayes at the moment, you know, obviously how the job she's done at Chelsea, and even if you just, you know, I love listening to Emma, because I think all knowledge is excellent. So yeah, that's definitely something I think can definitely happen.
So Louise, sorry, Louise, would you consider going into coaching when your career's over?
Yeah, it is something that I think about a bit, and so I'm currently doing my UEFA B badge, but it's probably something that's just not top of my list. Like, I was even talking to Carts, you know, about this like a week or two ago, and just the general question. And I don't know, like, for me, I suppose I just haven't had proper coaching experience with a proper team. But like, I think there was even, you know, we did a quiz even in the Irish team, and it was like, you know, you had to write a name down about who was, you know, who in the room was going to be a coach, and everyone in the room said me. And I'm kind of like, I'm not sure. But that's the kind of player I am on the pitch. And I think obviously from that view, so yeah, from a centre half view, how you can see all the pitch, you know, I'm doing, it's the same. Even if I'm having a crap game, I know one thing is that, like, I have my voice, and I can help my teammates around me, and then they can actually help me out and make me not look so crap by making them, you know, do all the work in front of me. So for me, like, it's maybe there in me, but it needs to be brought out. but it's something that I wouldn't, put down straight away. But there's a few things I maybe wouldn't mind with it, and some of the coaching. But then, yeah, I watch Cart's getting more grey hairs the team, and then I'm kind of right. That's another reason.
By the day.
And Devs, have you got your coaches back up and running now? Your soccer schools with the kids?
Yeah, they're going again. Obviously, a tough couple of years with COVID, but I'm not so hands-on with them now, obviously, with the role I'm doing now with RMF. But yeah, they're going again, mate, yeah. Yeah,
good. Tell us a bit about that, your role with RMF.
Yeah, it's a construction company. We do a lot of work with the hard to reach, long-term unemployed, prison leavers. We also work within prisons with lads on a scheme called Rattle, which is released on temporary licence. So where guys are coming to the end of the sentence and they can go out onto building sites and work on a day release basis. So I go around to a lot of our building sites, make sure our lads are getting on okay, speak to the gaffers, make sure they're happy with them, and just make sure everything's running smoothly. Really, do a few mental health talks with them, a bit of diversity and equality talks as well, and just health and well-being really for them.
Yeah,
incredible, absolutely incredible, Paul. I tell you what, Paul. That's blown me away a bit, man. Honestly, proper good. Yeah, well done, Des. Nice one, mate.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, love it.
There isn't a disabled manager of any description, is there? I don't think there is there? No.
No,
I don't think there is. No.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Tilton Talk Show, Monday night, 7:30 through till 9, and we're now into the last 15 minutes of the show.
Oh, no.
And I can't believe what has happened tonight. And I'm sure, Paul, you can't, Mark, you can't, Chris, you can't, Alan, you can't, and because what we decided earlier that it was going to be song titles and football, titles and football, and then we went through them song titles earlier, and that was brilliant. That made me laugh. That made me chuckle. But I want you to really, really, really have me apoplex tonight. Song titles, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and football. This is where we have a little bit of fun. Devs and Darren and Louise. Where it's a word association thing, which I think Radio West Midlands probably pinched off us, haven't they?
They did, yeah.
Yeah. We were first to come up with it, Chris. And it's a bit of word association, so we think of something crazy every Monday. And then the people out there just blow us away with their extreme comedy. And there is not better comedy than you can get from a Brummie. Brummie comedy is the best in the world. Right, so we're looking out for this, ladies and gents, song titles and football.
Hey,
started already.
I'll kick off with Bob Marley. Bob Marley on Love.
On
love.
I quite like that, actually. You've been thinking about that all day, haven't you?
It's been on my mind all day, yeah.
You've been thinking about that all day, haven't you? We've got Devlin in Disguise. I know we had that one earlier, but Jason Hughes come up with that one there. Devlin in Disguise. Yeah. Come on and think, ladies and gents. Make me laugh.
Okay, before we do that, we need to talk about Friday's game. Should we have some predictions?
Absolutely.
Predictions, maybe?
Yeah. Can I kick off with 1-1?
Okay.
I think it would be 1-1.
Was there a pun in the kick-off?
No.
No.
Go on, Alan.
I think it's going to come together on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to win 2-0.
2-0. Okay. Devs?
Yeah, I mean, one of my old clubs. I mean, I actually played more games for Sheffield United than I did Birmingham. Yeah, it's I'll fancy a draw as well. I fancy 1-1 too.
Yeah. Louise?
I think I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. Lindsay Marie's gone 3-1. Steve Gill 2-1. Paul McCarthy 2-0. Steve Portman 2-2. Keith Harbour, I don't know where he's got this one from, but 5-0. Said 6.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be nice. What about you, Paul?
I'll go 2-1 Blues.
2-1. Carts?
Yeah, I've got to agree with Paul. I'll go 2-1. Can I just say as well, Dev, I was at the Bramall Lane game. You know, it was finished 4-4. You scored 2 in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It was 1 or 2, mate. I can't remember.
I think you got 2. I remember being there in the away end. 4-4. I'm sure you got 2 goals that day, Dev.
And that was some game, wasn't it, that night?
Oh, great game. Yeah.
Remember it?
Remember
Okay.
You all scored in that game, did he?
Yes.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
That was all he done for us, wasn't it? That was it. He went.
About it, yeah.
Okay, so we've got Violet saying Tommy's our man in the Mooney. Oh no, not the last 15 minutes. We'd just like to carry on with the football chat, Mandy. We have to have a laugh on a Monday. The mighty Quinn from Linda Ensor. If you can remember that from.
What about Incy Wincy Spider?
Yeah.
Oh, Ince. I suppose it's
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, we'll give it you.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's naff, but we'll give it you.
Yeah, I suppose.
Leader of the Crazy Gang from Jason Hughes. Some more score predictions coming in. Michael Woods 2-1, Mandy Irvin 2-1. Paul versus Meredith 2-1. Rocket Man United from Jason Hughes. That's quite clever. 3-1 from Paul. Oh, he's gone. He's changed it. He's changed it. Oh no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. It's 3-1. He's written it twice. Don Gavin 1-1, 2-1 to Blues from Stephen Gill. Jason McDonough 2-1. Birmingham Rhapsody from. I quite like that.
The next one's
Ray's got a good one. Vindaloo Macari.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Vindaloo Macari.
The shoot song. Oh, ask Dev to sing The Gambler.
Oh no, don't.
Dev, you've been asked to sing The Gambler. I'm kidding you. We'll all join in.
I don't think that's really one for walking out to a boxing match.
Nah.
I've been in a few positions at clubs where the song could have been "Please release me, let me go."
Actually, that's a good one for this evening, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Please release me, let me go. Oliver's Army, Elvis Costello. Where do we get that one from?
Got to be some Oasis ones, Darren. I'm trying to think.
Got to be York City. Here comes the Sunich.
Ivan
Sanchez, obviously.
He's gone.
Ivan, no, it's Sanchez that's gone, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's Sanchez.
Yeah, Ivan Sanchez. Yeah. Chris, I remembered something.
You did, yeah. Well done.
I did. On it.
What do we think about Sanchez going as well?
He was homesick and injury prone, so it's not a good combination, really.
Yeah, a bit like me, mate.
He did bits and bobs for us, though, didn't he? When he played, to be fair, he scored a couple of lovely
I think,
goals.
to be honest, Paul, I think it's frustrating.
Sorry. Substitute by the "Who are you?"
Who are you?
Oh, what about
Shots
that?
Get me out of here. Long frame coming because I'm hoppy. Here comes the Sunich. We've had that one. Blue by Dev. Maradona Summer. Do you know the way to Mikel San Jose? I like that one. You lot are mad, honestly. You're absolutely mad. Oh dear. Wonderwall Saul. Don't get that one. Okay.
I like Pete Taylor's idea.
Oh yeah, Ray's got another one. Yeah, last frame from Clarksville. Last frame from Clarksville.
Very good.
That's a good one.
Very clever. It's raining Men United.
People have been waiting all week for this, haven't they?
They are. They're absolutely.
I've just got Portsmouth and Charlton on the box here, and Chuck Sanike is running them absolutely ragged. Can't get hold of him.
Oh.
What's the score, Alan?
It's 1-0 to Charlton.
Did Daniki score?
No, but he headed towards goal. The goalkeeper padded it, the bloke knocked it in. But the replay showed that Nike was offside.
Oh.
But they allowed it.
Okay, question here from Sam Mullet. Did Devs or Darren ever think of playing abroad? Paul, we'll start with you, mate.
I nearly went abroad a couple of times in my first spell at Blues in the sort of late 90s when I fell out with Trevor and I was leaving. Torino was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah, Graham Souness was manager, and I as a young kid, he had me up on trial at Liverpool when I was playing non-league at Stafford Rangers. So that was talked about. And then at the end of my career, when I was leaving Watford, I had the chance to go to New York. Mm-hmm. It was either New York or Warsaw, so it was a no-brainer. Warsaw. No, it was just.
I don't believe you just said that.
No, listen, it came too late. I was sort of 34. I didn't really fancy uprooting and going over to America at that stage. But yeah, a bit of a regret, really. It would have been something, looking back now, that I'd have liked to have done. But like I say, going to America at 34 wasn't really the right move for me then.
Mm-hmm. Troy, a yellow ribbon around the old tree. I like that one. I like that one.
This one from
Darren, over to you, Darren.
Do you class Scotland as abroad or?
Yeah.
I had a couple of
They had a referendum, mate. Of course we do.
Yeah, I could have gone to Scotland a couple of times. But I always, to be fair, I always thought I potentially wanted to go to America towards the end of my career, but never really materialised. So yeah.
Can you remember what clubs in Scotland, Darren?
So Hibernian was one.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, they at one stage wanted me to go up there. I think that may have been. I think I was still at Blues. I think as a loan, and then I think Aberdeen was another one. Back in the day, again, yeah, both at Blues.
A bit colder up there, though, isn't it?
It's a bit too far. I went to Sunderland on loan. That was far enough. So
speak funny as well.
Yeah. It's raining Mengi. Don't leave me this way. Who let the hogs out? Robbie Savage Garden. We've had that one, I think. The sun has got its hat on. The sun has got its bob hat on.
For the wings of in love. Oh, for the wings of in love.
Bakuna Masata.
Yeah. Nobody got more.
Don't break my heart. H-A-R-T.
Are you going to Trevor Francisco?
Oh, God.
Jason Hughes.
I like Dave Twines, I do. Dave Twines is the best one. We hotter, get out of this place.
Oh, yeah, well done. We hotter, get out of this place.
We haven't had any reference to Check and Doy yet.
No, not yet, no. Plenty of time.
Come on, people. Check and Doy.
Check and Doy.
That's got to be ABBA, hasn't it? Take a check and doy.
Check and Doy.
Here's a good one.
Oh, Mark, please.
Yeah, Nick. Kilmar knocking on heaven's door. Come on,
I like that one. Yeah. Baggy Fowlers.
Sympathy for the Paul Devlin. Baggy Fowlers.
Oh dear me. Oh golly. Oh mate. Oh, that's the best 15 minutes of the week, honestly. I know some people don't like it, but Carter Chameleon.
Carter Chameleon.
First time I've had that one.
Oh, that's it. Look, he's gone purple.
Oh my God.
Question for Louise. What sort of music are you into away from the game?
Ooh, away from the game. I really like. I love a bit of everything. There's not kind of anything massively specific. I'd say maybe. God, what would be my most listened to now? Like I used to love listening to Queen with my dad, Leo Sayer. So I can go literally from 70s upwards, and I just stick on a playlist as well. Fleetwood Mac would be
brilliant.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac was
and I'll listen to the radio, and I'll listen to a bit of all of it.
Everything.
Oh dear.
Nick, I think it's that time, and that time has come.
Red Row and Vine,
hasn't it?
Red Row and Vine. That's a good one, but I want to hold your handy sides.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Oh, what's he been? Has he been eating vinegar off a fork again? Oh my goodness me! Oh dear.
Excellent.
Dear.
Can I just say, Dev, all the best with the fight, mate, and Darren and Louise, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Bible as well. I really hope you stay up. And
Listen. The Blues fans are behind you, and you know what we're like, don't you? And Chris, can we please get somebody to organise a Blues women's home game where the Tilton Talk and all the Tilton Talk supporters and all the Tilton Talk lovely fans out there join in, come down and give you some support and make some noise.
Yeah, you good day out.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah. We'd love it.
I'm up for that.
I mean, I live 50 miles away, right? And normally I drive in to do this into Chris's house, and I don't normally get back home to 10:30, 25 to 11. Yeah. And I've done that now for 11 years. And if I can't make it to St Andrews to support you guys, right, in a relegation scrap, then I won't be worthy of being a Birmingham City fan. End of. So I'll be there.
Appreciate that, Nick. And yeah, obviously a big game for us this Sunday against Leicester.
Massive, yeah.
Andrew. So yeah, if as many can get down to support us, it'd be very much appreciated. And
how much to get in, Darren?
I think we've got some tickets, Nick.
Yeah, tickets. I believe it's £10 for a season ticket, or it might be a bit cheaper now for season ticket holders. And
six or £10.
6 or 10 quid. I mean, what can you get? You can get 2.5 pints of beer up here for a tenner, right? Come on, people. Blues versus Leicester, Sunday, right? I am going to do my utmost. I can't make any promises because my daughter's just had a baby, one thing and another, right? And I can't make any promises, but I'll do my utmost to get there, right? Ooh. On Sunday, if you've got to pay a tenner, you've got to pay a tenner. Tenner's nothing. 2.5 pints of beer, right? Come on.
Nick,
let's make it.
Come down here and see the girls play at Brighton. And if you can get 2.5 pints of beer for tenner, you'll be bloody lucky.
Well, we brew it up here in Burton-on-Trent, so we try to give it away, you know what I mean? Oh, dear me. Right, okay, Darren Carter, thank you so much for giving me time on a Monday night, mate. Absolutely superb. Great conversations and great memories, and it's actually one of the best memories that we've ever had. As with you, Paul, with your penalty take as well, and all the service that you gave to Blues and all the great work that you're doing for people who are so disadvantaged. I'm absolutely amazed, mate. I'm over the moon, promise you. And Louise, wow. This woman, this lady, woman, what would you prefer to be called?
Footballer.
Lady.
Footballer.
This
footballer has won 91 caps for her country. Take that in. And she plays for Birmingham City. Let's do everything we can on Sunday to come down, support you, make some noise, have a laugh, meet you afterwards, right? Shake hands, do whatever, right? And hopefully we can get down there, and if we can make some proper noise, right? Give you the guys to go on, smash Leicester, smash them.
We'll give it our best shot, absolutely.
Bless you, and thank you for being a Birmingham City player, because you know what, when you have that badge on your heart and your heart on your sleeve and the name on the back, and you give your service to our football club, that name on the back will always be remembered, always. Ladies and gents, this has been the Tilton Talk Show, an absolute cracker tonight with lots and lots of people in. Blimey, I've never had so many. Have we had 7 before, Chris?
I don't think we have, actually, no.
No, I don't think we have. It could be a world record tonight. There you go, Louise. You've broken the world record, and you, Darren, Paul Devlin. Right, okay, so we're going to say our goodbyes now. Mr. Alan Watton, good night. God bless you, sir. Take care.
Good night, everyone.
Mark Adams.
Good night. I can't follow that. Good night, everyone.
Who could follow it? The one and only Mr. Sheen himself, the beast of the Tilton Talk Show, Paul Hipkiss.
Good night, all. Pleasure as always.
Absolutely. My old mate, Chris Owen. Wow, what a bloke.
Good evening. Goodbye.
From myself, good night. And the last 3 messages are going to come from our guests tonight. First off, Paul Devlin.
Good night, everyone.
Somebody just reminded me there's actually 8 of us, not 7.
From Paul Devlin, friend of the show. Darren Carter, friend of the show. I know you've been on a few times, mate. And we will talk to Tom Ross and ask him to change his school now, right?
Please do.
Darren, last words from you, mate.
No, thank you for having me, and hopefully see as many people down there, or Blue Noses down there on Sunday, supporting the team.
No, thank you. Listen, mate, it's our pleasure, believe me, to have the man who put Blues back into the Premier League. Not back into, but into the Premier League, right, on this show. And it's a pleasure to have Debs, who also scored that penalty, because it's teamwork. And we can't do this without the team. And we've got a lot of people who work hard behind the scenes, and I want to thank each and every single one of them. From me, ladies and gentlemen, good night, God bless, take care. Be nice, be kind, right? Just be kind to each other. No more backbiting, no more infighting, right? We also have to be a team as supporters. And I'm going to leave the last words tonight to the lovely Louise. So proud of you for 91 caps. That's just blown my head off tonight, guys. and you're a Birmingham City player. Louise is going to close the show. Good night. God bless. Take care.
Good night, guys. Thanks for having me, and let's see you on Sunday. Keep right on.
And we're off. Cheers, guys.